Hello.
Good evening, Rocky.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
Any update for offer letter?
And wait till this weekend.
Okay.
Hopefully, you will get. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Okay, so today we will start with Express.js. Let me share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so anybody has any idea about Express.js? Anyone? Yes. Yes, it is the framework. Okay, we will see deeply what is Express.js over here. Let's start. So what is Express.js? Express.js or simply Express is the most popular Node.js web application framework designed for building web applications and APIs. So that is one of the application of Express.js that it will help with our building APIs, routes, and web applications, right? It is often called the de facto standard server framework for Node.js. So what are the key characteristics of Express.js? It is minimal and flexible, unopinionated. You decide how to structure your app, lightweight and fast, extensible through middleware, huge ecosystem of plugins and extensions. So these are the key characteristics of Express.js. Like basically, the main important work of Express.js is to create APIs and routes for us. So since we have already seen that we were creating the routes using HTTP and HTTPS modules in the Node.js. So why do we need this Express.js? Let's see that. Express provides a thin layer of fundamental web application features without obscuring Node.js features. What it offers? A robust routing system, HTTP helpers, redirection, caching, etc. Support for middleware to respond to HTTP requests. A templating engine for dynamic HTML rendering and error handling middleware. So apart from since we have seen that in the HTTP and HTTPS module, we have seen that it was allowing us to create servers and routes. But apart from that, what are the other functionalities that Express.js is providing us? That is that first of all, it is creating a robust routing system. By robust, we mean that it won't be break in any condition. Like in case of HTTP, if we are using the modules of the Node.js, it might be obstructed by if you are using somewhere else in some other operating system. But in case of Express.js, it is operating system friendly, and that won't be this ruptured or this uh, kind of destructed in any of the form, and it will work fine. All the routes will work fine for you if you are using the Express.js mode. Also, it will help you with error handling middlewares. So we will see what are the middlewares over here. It is helps in a better way how you can handle your errors, and also it will give us the template kind of thing that will help us to perform or integrate some dynamic features on our browser or the website. So that was the application of Express.js. If I tell you about some real world application of Express.js, you can think it of as, for example, you have gone to some restaurant and you have just sat on the table and the waiter comes to ask what you want to order. So that waiter particularly will be the Express.js for you. And the kitchen from where he will bring you the food will be the database or the backend over there. So whenever you will give any request, like I want some burger or you want something, so that will be request that you are putting in front of that waiter, and that waiter is the Express.js that will carry your request to the kitchen, uh, uh, and then the food will be prepared and it will respond you with the food that you have ordered. So that is what Express.js helps you in accessing your database or the Node.js. Also, if I give you any other example, like when you will make your projects, for example, you are creating a library system for you or any bookstore system just in case. So a student has come to the librarian and he is asking for some book. Like if this particular book is present in the library or not. So this is the kind of request he is asking from the librarian. Again, he will ask if that this particular book is not present in this library, please add this in your stock. So this is also a kind of request he is trying to give to the librarian. So these are the requests that Express.js handles. So why we are using the Express.js instead of Node.js modules? No, whenever we take request with the Node.js modules, what happens is that it is a very lengthy process. First of all, it will take your request, it will write it down somewhere, then it will try to understand it and will work on it later. So that becomes a lengthy process and the requests are not fulfilled immediately. But in case of Express.js, what happens is that it will just take the response and automatically or immediately the working on that particular request will start. And that is why we use Express.js as the framework over the Node.js. And you will see that you will see that it is said that Express.js is the a kind of framework and upper layer that is being used with the Node.js. So that is how it helps the Node.js. For example, if in the library example only, you are the librarian. Okay, so you are the Node.js. But now since you have many work, apart from handling the APIs or the frameworks or the routes, you will be handling other things also. So now you need an assistant for that, for your handling requests from the students. So that assistant for you will be the Express.js, and you will be the Node.js who will monitor that Express.js. Are you all able to understand that? You can visualize
Yes,
that?
ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, screen is stuck, ma'am. Sorry.
Right now, I am in my meet only. I am not showing anything. Okay, so yes, I was telling you that Express.js will be the assistant that you will keep in your library, and the librarian will be the Node.js for you. And the database section will be the all the book categories, all the shelves of the book where the books are present. So that will be the database. If in case the student comes that whether this book is present in the library, so this request will be taken by the Express.js, and then Express.js will immediately go to the bookshelves and test and check basically to whether that particular book is present or not. If in case the student has requested to add one or two books in the stock, he will immediately ask the Node.js for the new stock to be added. So then Node.js will work over there for the adding of the new stock or updating the database for you. If in case he has requested to the that I want to issue this particular book, then again the Express.js will immediately work upon that particular request and the response will be immediately sent to the user or the student over there. So that was the kind of visual representation of Express.js and Node.js and database, how a request is being taken and how it is being handled immediately by the Express.js. And that is the main advantage of the Express.js over the Node.js. And that is why it is usually said that Express.js is a kind of framework which is provides an upper layer over the Node.js. Right? Are you able to understand the importance of Express.js, why we are learning it? Because we have already seen how we can create servers and take requests using the HTTP module. So you should know why we are learning Express.js. So only one or two students are understanding what I have tried to tell. Or should I explain it again? Just tell me what you understood. Okay, so one of you just tell me what you understood about Express.js. Anybody? whatever you have understood, just tell me about Express.js. Like what is the importance, and like I have given you the example. Okay, so I was telling you that Express.js is a kind of framework which will be the upper layer that will be used above Node.js. How is that so? See, I was giving you an example of library over here. For example, you are the librarian of the particular library, and students come to you and ask that whether this particular book is present in your library or not. If they can issue this particular book, this particular book is not present in your library, please add this to your stock. So these are the different requests that they come up with, and you have to handle it, right? But since you are already busy with other things, like you have to see about the new stocks that needs to be added, or you are busy with some other work, so now your request handling process has slowed down. Like if anybody has given you the request, so first of all you noted down that request and you take that request later on at nights, let's say. So whatever the request, like whatever the request that they are giving you, that they are providing you with some any feedback, all that is being taken later, and the process is being delayed. So now you have decided to bring a assistant in your library. So whenever you won't be present in the library, he will take the request and immediately he will give the response to the student. So for example, if the student comes to the assistant, so he will and ask that whether this book is present, he will just go to the shelves of your library and check for that particular book. If any student wants to issue any book, so he will immediately issue also. If in case the student tells that this particular book is not present in the your library, and I want that this particular book should be added in your stock, so you will immediately so that assistant will immediately tell the owner, like you, for example, you are the librarian, he will immediately tell you that this particular book needs to be added in our shelves. So over here, you are the owner and you will be the Node.js of your library, and your library will be the database. Express.js will be the assistant. Is my voice not clear? Okay. Yes, I was telling you that assistant of your library will be the Express.js, and you being the owner will be the Node.js, and the shelves will be the database. So whatever request that a user, that will be a student, will ask from the Node.js via Express.js will be taken care by the Express.js immediately. And now whatever your request taking process and giving the response back to the user, the whichever the process that was being delayed initially, now it will be the request will be taken immediately, and response also will be given to the user at once. So that is how Express.js helps with handling the request via routers or APIs. Also, in case any error occurs in your browser, in your backend, that also Express.js handles it very effectively by creating middlewares. For example, if any new functionality needs to be added to your website, if in case you are creating the e-commerce website and now you want to add the feature of add to cart, so even such functionalities will be easily added to your website via middlewares. That is also present, that is also a feature that provides Express.js. So we will explore all these, but I want you all to at least know why we are learning Express.js and what is the key role of Express.js. Is it clear now? Yes, Rocky? Okay. Okay, so now can anybody tell me what you have understood? Yes, that's correct. Faster and easier. Yes. Helps us set up routes for an API so that we can fetch or send it those routes from the front-end application. Yes. Archana, is it clear? Can you tell me what you understood? And APIs. Okay, I will move to the tutorial now. So we have covered why do we have to choose Express.js as the framework. So if we want to use the Express.js, Express can be added to any Node.js project. Here's how to get started with a new Express application. Let's see. What are the prerequisites that we must know before starting with Express.js? We have already seen the Node.js and also already installed in our terminal in our system. We have we know about npm and also the we have code editor. So first of all, we will install the Express by this particular statement, the command which is npm install Express. So I will install over here inside tutorial folder npm install Express. So it is also a library. As you can see, we are installing it using npm only, which is Node package manager. And you will see multiple. Either you can use npm iExpress or npm install Express. Both will be working fine. Next, let's see what they are telling us. And also it will just save it in our package.json dependency. So you will have to just add hyphen save. Try it at your end. Okay. So let's see how we can run a simple example over here. Let's create a simple Hello World application with Express. This example demonstrates the basic structure of an Express application. So now we will see how Express application will be created. So what are the key components over here? First of all, we will import the Express module. Then we will create the Express application instance. And then we will define the routers and we will start the server. So let's see, let's break this down, this particular code. First of all, the since we have already installed the Express, so we will require the Express library. Next, this particular statement, which is const app is equal to Express. This is a done to create the Express application instance. Like you can see over here, this is the second step we do to create the Express application instance. And whenever we will create routes, we will, or every time we will use this particular app variable. Okay. And next they have defined the port, which is 8080. Now the third component, which will be the defining routes, here it is app.get. So over here, they have used the get method. I have told you about different methods initially also. So this get method will just print the kind of output on your web browser. So whenever we use this get request, it is to retrieve the database, retrieve information only. So it is a kind of a method that will just give you the output over your browser. So here they are sending the response, which will be the hello world from Express. As you can see over here, they have just given this single route, which stands for the root URL. By default, after localhost 8080, this will be the root route. And what will be printed over there? Hello world from Express. in this particular method, we have this request and response as two parameters. So first of all, the request is being taken by this particular route. And in this particular request, what will be the response? It will be hello world from Express. As I told you that Express takes the request over here. So what will be the Express? What will be the request inside that will be given to the Express? That we are trying to access this particular local host 8080 and the root URL. So whenever we will go to this particular browser, this particular root, which is the slash, this will be the request from us to the Express.js, to the Node.js basically, but that will be handled by the Express.js. And what it will give us the response that hello world from Express. So that is how request and response will be sent from both the sides. And where it will be listened, where our server will run at the backend, it will run over this particular port, which is 8080. So let's try to run this over our file over here. So I will just add these, run my Express app in the app.js file only. So let's run this node app.js. Server will start at the particular 8080, moving on to this particular browser URL. As you can see over here, I'm getting hello world from Express. So when I just went to this particular URL, so this will be is the request as a user to the Node.js that is being handled by the Express.js. And what it is giving the response? Hello world from Express. Are you able to understand this?
Yes, ma'am.
Try running this at your system also and just paste the screenshot. What about others? Are you all able to understand? Yes, good.
हेलो मैम।
Yes,
मैम मुझे एक डाउट था।
yes.
यस मैम, अपने वीएस कोड में जो आपने लिखा है ना मैम स्टार्टिंग में रिक्वायर स्टेटमेंट, रिक्वायर एक्सप्रेस,
Yes,
मैम वीएस कोड में।
yes.
हाँ
I
मैम
am in
ते
my VS Code only.
हाँ हाँ मैम ते फर्स्ट वाला मैम स्टेटमेंट है ना मैम, कॉस्ट एक्सप्रेस इज इक्वल टू, मैम इसकी मतलब इसकी जगह पे हम इंपोर्ट एक्सप्रेस फ्रॉम एक्सप्रेस ऐसा लिख सकते हैं क्या, मतलब जैसा नोड
Yes,
जेएस में
for
लिखते हैं?
yes. For that, I will have to do in the package.json. I will write type not the common JS but the module. See, I will just show you module. Saving this. So
मैम
now I
मैम स्क्रीन स्टक हो गई, मतलब दिख नहीं रहा है।
is it visible now?
यस मैम, नो विजिबल।
Okay, so in the package.json, what you have to do in the type section, you must be having common JS by default. So you will have to change it to module. And now you can see that my server has been crashed over here. What it says in the require express line, require is not defined in the ES module scope. You can use import instead. So now in my app.js, I will have to use import. Import express from the express library. So saving it
मैम
now.
मतलब व्हाट इज द डिफरेंट मींस की मॉड्यूल स्टेट टाइप मॉड्यूल एंड टाइप जेसन?
your functionality won't change. Your server will run in the similar way, but this particular method by using the ES module is the new method that now Node has given us. Initially, it was common JS.
Okay, man. Okay, okay.
Okay, so now you can see over here that my server has started again when I have used this import over there. Yes, Satyam, you were right. Type A has to be module, yes. Do show me your URL also. Let's see what they're telling us. So I have to save this code in my app.js and I will have to start it and I can see the request on my localhost URL that we have seen. So next is basic routing. Routing refers to how an application responds to client requests to specific endpoints URIs using different HTTP methods, which are get, post, put, delete, etc. So Express.js provides simple methods to define routes that corresponds to HTTP methods. We have already seen these five methods in the HTTP module also. So app.get will be handling the get request, post will be handling post request, put request, delete request, and all. So this is the new method that you will see in the Express.js. Let's see what is the use of this particular method, which is dot all. So over here in this example, initially they have just imported the Express library and created the app instance, and the port on which the server will run is the 8080. As usual, this will be the common three statements that you will see every time, and you will have to add in your code also. Next, they are trying to handle the root route. So this has to be the common route that you have to create so that at least the basic or the uh, main root route should be running at your server. So in the root route, I will get the response as get request to the home page. Next, I am creating a post request over here, and that will send me the post request to the home page. And again, they have just mentioned the route, which is about section. And now they have given the another new method, which is dot all. What this dot all method will do, since we have already declared three routes, which is two were the get request and post request for the root route, and the third route was the slash about that will handle the get requests. But
Ma'am,
what about the
um,
yes,
I have one doubt, ma'am.
yes,
We wrote that key app dot post in bracket slash and in argument request and response. Okay, ma'am.
yes,
And
yes, yes.
then why we cannot take means request we मतलब will तो मैम रिस्पॉन्स ले रहे हैं ना मैम लेकिन रिक्वेस्ट क्यों नहीं ले रहे हैं मतलब हाँ, वो शॉर्ट फॉर्म
Okay, we are using only the response keyword, but not request.
हाँ यस मैम यस
Basically, whenever you are visiting this particular route, that is the request only from your side to the express. Like if I am in this particular route, this particular URL, this is the request only. I am trying to access this URL. Over here, you are seeing that I am just getting a single line, which is hello world from Express. But whenever you go to any website, for example, I am Amazon only. So if I am trying to visit this particular URL, so this is the request only. Na? I am trying to retrieve the information from this page. Now, if I want to shop something, like if I want to see the appliances, so I will click on this particular web page and I will try to retrieve information from this URL. So this is the in the website, in the web making process, this is the request only from the user side to the backend to the Express. If you clearly say that I want to retrieve information from this particular URL. So this is the only request. And now whatever information this request is giving me, here they have multiple responses in this particular route only. So these are the responses from their end to the user. Okay. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Let me.
Okay. So I was telling you about dot all. So we have created only three routes. For example, if I go to our previous server and I try to access any other route, which I have not mentioned currently, enter, and I'm getting what in response cannot get or slash about. So we have not told Express what is to be done if in case the user tries to ask some incorrect query. For example, if you are in the library and the student is asking, I want coffee. So that is an incorrect query that you are asking from the librarian being in the library. So if in case the your assistant doesn't know what to respond, so he won't be able to take that request. So we as the librarian have to tell our assistant that if in case anybody asks for any incorrect query that cannot be handled in the library or by us right now, so you will have to respond that is not possible, sir, kind of thing. If you think of it as the library example. So you have to tell the Express over here what needs to be done if in case the user tries to access any other thing. For example, over here also I was giving you the example the previous day, like I am trying to access some incorrect route. So they have told the Express that if in case the user tries to access some incorrect URL, what needs to be rendered, like looking for something, we are sorry, the web address you entered is not a functioning page on our site. Go to amazon.in, and now if I click on this particular button, I will be redirected to their home page. So this is the particular, the previous page that you see over here. This is the page that will be rendered every time if the user tries to access some incorrect route. For example, if I click on this mobile section and now I make some changes in the URL, trying to access it, again, I will be rendered to the same page which says looking for something. We basically they do not have any functioning page for this particular URL. So now the same thing we will try to handle at our end also. And that is what dot all method does for us. It will check for every other route. And if in case the user tries to access the any route apart from these mentioned routes, what that will print? 404 page not found. As we have seen already, the code 404 means that the page does not exist for us. Same thing they have used, and it will listen to the particular port which we have mentioned over here is 8080. Let's try to run this. We have already created the app instance and the root route. I will just paste this particular code. So I will just save it. My app, if there is some error. We have given the dot get request, post request, and the get request for the slash about. In case of all, we have this particular route, and our dot listen should be running over here. Okay, I will change the package.json back to common JS only for now. Let's try to run this again. Again, we are getting the error. Type module, save. There is some error. I don't know why it is happening. Providing the slash about or get request slash about get request to the about page. Now I will give the default app.get to the asterisk. That means all other routes will be handled. 404 page not found. I think there are some updates that have been done in the Express.js. That is why it is not handling the all routes. See the interactive one. Because apart from that, the code was running. If I go to this, now if I go back, it is sending me the get request. And in the root route also, I am getting the response get request to the home page. Hello. Yes, Akriti. Yes, I think there are some not valid know what I found. Yes, there are some updated version of Express because we are using the updated version. That is why it is not running.
Ma'am,
Yes, Akriti.
uh, I checked this at the chat GPT and it solved this error.
So what needs to be updated in our? I think there needs to be changed this particular how we are giving the default value.
Wow.
There is some text that needs to be added, I guess.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
last that I
Slash, I think, ma'am, put slash dot star slash in the route.
slash asterisk and then dot slash.
No, ma'am, asterisk, what are they? Yes, ma'am.
Let's check
Asterisks
this.
are not written.
Asterisk is not written
Yes.
like this. Okay, let me check. Yes, it is running now. Let's try to check at our browser. Trying to access some other route. For example, contact. Cannot get contact.
Ma'am, actually, it look like this.
Just write in the chat box. I will see. Yes, Salman. I think slash asterisk. Okay. Slash dot asterisk and then slash, right? Slash dot asterisk. Mhm.
Ma'am, use it without inverted comma.
Like this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes, I'm getting now. Thank you, Akriti. Without inverted commas. Okay. Yes, Salman. Salman, do you have any doubts? Okay. So now my request is being taken even for the default values also. For example, if I'm trying to access some any other route that I have not mentioned anything for that particular page. So now it will just handle that also, which is by 404 not found, giving me the text over there. Let's check at our Thunder client also the post request for now. If in case you don't know this how we can use it, apart from Postman also in the VS Code in the extension section, just go to extensions and just write Thunder client over there, and you will get this particular extension. Just install it and you will be able to check all your routes in the VS Code only. And that is what I am trying to use over here only. So I want to give the new request at HTTP localhost. Paste Let's say I'm giving the get request only, sending it. I'm getting 200 OK and 404 not found. If in case now I would want to get the post request, it will give me the error because we have used the get request over here. For all the routes. If I give the post request, let's say, will that is post, saving it, coming back to our request and sending the request. And now it is handling 404 not found. Okay. Let's try to check for the about the root route. That was also taking the post request, sending it and getting post request to the home page. Are you able to test it? Just okay, no problem, Salman. Just check it in your Postman or Thunder client. If anybody has not doesn't know about this backend tool, basically whenever you will build your website to check your backend routes, you will need these kind of tools to work. If check whether your APIs are working fine or not, because only your GET request will be showing in the browser. To check your post request or any other request, you will need to have some backend tool that will just assure you that yes, your APIs are working fine. And also, it is a very important thing whenever you will be working in the company. So let's say you are working as the backend developer or even as the front end developer. So being the backend developer, your work will be to create the APIs that are working correctly. So then only the front end developer will be able to fetch data from the backend by using those APIs only. So it is a very important tool to know. Also, you should know to how to use these tools. Usually people use the Postman, but I prefer uh, Thunder Client mostly because that is available in my VS Code only. You just have to download the extension, which is Thunder Client, and directly you can give the new request, and that will work fine. Even the Postman also works fine, but there is this setup that you need to do. If you are okay with the Postman, that is also fine. Are you all able to check the post request? Just send me the screenshot of that also. Get request to the home page. Okay. What about others? Are you all able to understand up till here? Just let me know. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am, please uh, share your screen. Just a second.
Is my screen not visible?
Ma'am, screen share, ma'am. Not a s- Just a second, ma'am. I was also see like a code, new code.
Okay, VS Code. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
let me just paste that. Just a minute. Okay, that is the whole code for you. You request 8080 post request. It's great. Okay, others also just share your screenshot. I am moving forward now. So that is how you can access the routes for the get request and post request. Let's see the route parameters. Route parameters are named URL segments that capture values at specific positions in the URL. They are specified in the path with a colon prefix. Example, over here we will see how different route parameters will be helping us. Like for example, slash users, then colon user ID, books, and the colon book ID. So in this example, user ID and the book ID, which are being used with the colon prefix over here, are route parameters, and that can be accessed via request.params. So this is the method which is request.params that will uh, access the parameters over here. That is why it is named as params over here. So all the parameters that are being written over in the URL will be handled using request.params. What are these parameters that will be provided over here? For example, you are building a okay library system only. I'm taking the same example, and you have the database in which all the students of of any particular class have their unique ID, which will be the roll numbers. So all those students will be authorized if they have the particular roll number, and also they must be present in your database. So how you will know whether this particular student uh, is present in your, because whenever you issue any book, it is required that you should be authorized. So now that user ID, the student ID, which will be the roll number, will tell you that this particular student is from your college only, and you can issue this particular book to him. Yes. So that ID will be used to check whether he is authorized or not, and then the book will be issued. And that is where the user ID or the student ID will be used. And whenever we deal with any ID, so you will see in the Mongoose also, whenever we use Mongoose, they provide a unique key to the object, any database, any entry that you will create. So that ID will be used to check for that particular database. We will see that later. Just a minute. Okay. Okay, I was telling you that how where that user ID will be used. I was when you will be doing some data entry in your database, each of the data entry will be having the unique IDs, and that is where your unique IDs will be used as request or the route parameters. Also, uh, over here also you can see that there is this another way of specifying the ID, like colon user ID. If you have created any library system or any kind of quiz system at your end. So you use that ID over here, and you must be using this colon before that, and that is to get to know that whatever parameter that you are providing with to the URI, it is a ID. It is a kind of input that you are giving to the URL over there. So we will see here. Again, they have just required the Express library. An app instance has been created, specifying the port. Next, over here, /users. So inside the user's router, they will check for the particular user and user ID, and then which book he has been issued to, and the book ID will be given. Let's try to run this code. So that will be the root route. Saving it. Now coming to our browser. Coming back to our localhost. Slash. So in my users, I am trying to, let's say, check for the user ID. Let's say 245. And the book ID can be 789. Let's say colon needs to omitted. Yes. Now I have provided the input, and now it will give me the user ID as 456 and book ID is 789. So since you can see over here that I'm giving the input directly to the URL, but when you will build your project and you will just click on the any particular ID, for example, again coming back to an Amazon file. Let's say I have just clicked on this sell button. Okay. And here you will see they have redirected us to /b, and this whole ID is being used over here. So this is the unique ID that the sell button has. Similarly, if I go to bestsellers, that particular number will change. Okay, they do not have any ID over here. Let's go to today's deals. So they have this deals over here. Let's go to any particular product. Now you will see the numbers over here. I think so. They must be having some. If there is a, this is a long. These are the query parameters, not the route parameters. Do not have any route parameters for now, I guess. Okay, they do not have route parameters, but just try to understand. Like for example, if I have any kind of button, uh, there are multiple users that are being listed, and in case I want to access the data of that particular user, I will just click on that user, and I will get the user ID. So that will be automatically moved to the URL, and the route for that particular user will come, and the data will be retrieved from there. We will perform an activity later on in the Express.js tutorial only. Then you will see how this is being done. But for now, just understand that this is the input that I have given as the route parameters, and I am getting the information as over here. Now, coming back to our code over here, let's see. So in this particular route, what will happen? I am trying to request the parameters. What will be sent as the response if I request this particular route? In the user ID, I will get request.params.user ID. So I am trying to request the parameter, which is user ID over here. Again, in the book ID section, I am trying to request for the parameter, which is book ID. So they have used this request.params.userid function, and that is why whatever user ID that I have mentioned over here, I am getting as the result. Providing multiple digits, I will get the output over here. Just perform this and just see if you are also able to get the desired output as I'm getting. Okay, you have tried in the Postman, I guess. Get post request and the hello world. Okay. Fine. Is it clear till here about the route parameters? Is it clear? If something is not clear, I can explain again. Okay, Gaurav, you are clear about this. What about others? Okay, so I'm moving forward. So that was all the request parameters. Let's move to query parameters. We have query parameters over here. Query parameters are key value pairs that appear after the question mark in the URL. They are automatically passed by the Express and available in request.query. As you can see over here, they have written that they are automatically passed by the Express. Similarly, the user ID and the request parameters are also passed automatically. Then, for example, in this URL, we have example.com search, and whatever it is written after this question mark, all these are queries. Like Q is equal to express and then page is equal to 2. So these are the queries, and that is why they are named as query parameters. In this URL, Q is equal to express and page is equal to 2 are the query parameters that can be accessed as request.query.q and the request.query.page. For accessing the route parameters, we were using request.params, and for accessing the query parameters, we will use request.query over here. Let's try to run this one. Then I will explain you the code. Saving it, coming up to our localhost, and the search route. Search query undefined category null. Why is that so? Because I have not given any query. Let's give some query over here. Q is equal to Node.js in category tutorial. That will work fine. So now I can see that search query is Node.js and category is tutorial. Let's break the code over here. Now, in my search route, what I'm trying to access? I am yes. Okay, great. Yes. Yes, Harshad, do you have any doubt? Oops, right.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. So I was telling you about the code. I am trying to access two queries right now, which is queue and the category. And that will be done using this request.query method. Why I have tried to specify the queries initially only so that I do not have to write request.query multiple times. Like in the previous code, we have seen just because I was trying to access two parameters, I was using request.params twice. So just to minimize the code and the complexity, I have tried to, um, they have just given you a code where uh, they are trying to access all the queries at once. And now they are using the such that query to give you the response, which is by response.send. And the search query will be giving you the query and the category will give us category. If in case we are not specifying any category, they will just give us the none. I hope you are understanding the codes, books, and ID. See, it is important whatever you are copying, even if you are copying the code, it is important that you should understand what you are writing. You should know about what you are creating as a project or what activity you are doing. That should be learning approach at your end. Is it clear the query parameters and the route parameters? So tell me, what is the method that we use to access the route parameters? Yes, request.params. We use get method. We can also use another methods also, but I'm asking about the method, Abhinav. So the method or the function that we use is request.params. Is it okay, Abhinav? Okay. And what is the method that we use to access the query parameters? Request.query. Yes. And how will you differentiate between the query parameters and the route parameters? Like by seeing the URL of Amazon, I got to know that this is not the, they do not have the route parameters and they are having the query parameters. How will you differentiate that? Yes. Whenever they specify any URL has the question mark and whatever it is written after the question mark, all are queries. That is why we get to know that they have query parameters. Like now you will be able to understand that see in the Amazon.in, one plus super silver, this store, this route inside DP route inside. So this is the ID for them, I guess so. So this is the unique ID that the each product must be having. And after that, there is the question mark. And whatever it is written over here, all these are the query parameters for this product. Let's see if they are having the same URL. Yes, I guess so. I think so. At their end, inside this DEP route, this particular query, this particular ID is the unique ID for this this particular product, and that is the ID for each unique ID. For let's say this particular product, I am having this ID only. So at their end, they are having the ID that are not numeric, but the alphanumeric format. That is the usual way of giving the ID to each product. Yes, are you able to understand? I think so. That is the route parameter, like the unique ID that they are having at their end for each product. Yes, is it clear? Okay, let's move forward. So that was query parameters. Let's see middlewares in Express. So what are the middlewares? Middleware functions are the backbone of Express applications. They have access to three parameters now. Whenever we were creating any route, so we had only two parameters that were request and response. But whenever we use the middlewares or we create middlewares in Express, we have another new parameter which is next. And this is the indication that the particular function is not the normal simple function, but it is a middleware. Let's see how middleware works. They can execute any code, modify the request and response objects, end the request response cycle, call the next middleware in the stack. So that is the usage of middleware. And we have few built-in middlewares over here, which is express.json, express.url encoded. So the .json will pass the JSON request bodies. .url encoder will pass the URL encoded request bodies. .static will serve the static files, and the router will create the modular route handlers. We will see this one by one. But before that, I want you all to understand the middlewares. Um, so talking about the middlewares, whenever you will have to add some functionality on your routes, you will use the middlewares. For example, any authentication system needs to be done. So that authentication system will be done using middleware only. Like for example, whenever you use the JSON web token, there is this token generated when you sign up to any website. And that token is used to get to know at the backend that whether the particular user is authorized or not. How they define that particular user is authorized or not? By that particular token only. And that is being checked by the uh, browser. And how it is being done? It is the middleware. They are the simple functions only, like we do for any other programming language. These are the functions only. But when we create functions for our websites, they are called as middlewares. Is it clear? The middlewares? It is a kind of helper function that will basically that will play an important role between the request of the user and the response that Express will give to the user. For example, any user is trying to access to your website, but your website should be accessible to only those users which are authorized. By authorized, I mean that they have already done sign up to your website. So that is where the middleware will play an important role. It will check for the authorized token that the user must be having, and if they have, it will redirect that particular user to your main dashboard or homepage of your website. You can also think of it as a kind of check that gives the middleware gives to your website. For example, whenever you go to the movie theater and you have purchased the ticket for the movie, and whenever you go inside, they have guards standing over there to check whether you have the ticket or not. So these are those guards are the middlewares for their movie theater. Again, when you go inside, they check whether you are carrying any food items. So again, they have put the security check on you. So that is a middleware for them. Then you are allowed to enter the movie theater. So the movie theater is the main dashboard. The security checks for your for your ticket checking and for any if you are carrying any food item. So those are the middlewares, and you are being the request that you are being uh, going inside. So you are giving the request, trying to give them a request that you want to enter the movie theater. And when you have uh, kind of fulfill whatever they are expecting from you, that you must have the ticket, then you must not carry any food item. When all this is being checked and you are being authorized, then you are allowed to enter the movie theater, and that will be the response from their end to you that you are given the seat inside the theater, right? Is it clear, the importance of middleware in your website? I hope you all are allowed, you are able to visualize how middlewares will help you in your website. Okay. And now let's see what they are telling us. So these are the different built-in middlewares that will that the Express.js is providing. Let's see this code over here. As usual, they have required the library, created the app instance, and specified the port on which the server will run. Now they are giving the middleware to pass JSON request bodies. So that is being used by express.json method. If in case I am trying to read the or trying to access any HTML kind of file, that is being done by URL encoded. By URL encoded, I mean that whatever the input is in the HTML format. Then we have this static files that will be saved into your public directory, let's say. And then they have this API/users. Make sure to note it down that whenever you create routes at your end, it is a general format to use this kind of thing, which is slash API and then the name of the route. One more thing is being added, which is the version, which is one or the any digit. For example, you are working on a company based any website. So when you will be creating the first route for the company website, so that will be version 1. And let's say the company has asked you to update something because now they have added some new features to their website. So their website has been updated. So then the route is being updated to version 2, like the version 1, version 2, version 3. So that is done using the routes also. Like whenever the any updation is being done, it is also shown in the routes also. So that is their backend thing. It is only for their sole purpose. So I am just telling you that it is the default or the a general format for creating the routes, which is by slash API, then specifying any number that will be the version for your website, and then the main name of the route. So over here, they have used slash API slash users, and then they are trying to console the request dot body. So whatever we will specify in the body, that will be console using this request dot body. Let's see what that will print over here. We are getting the message user created and the username over here. Let's see what that will print from our system. Inside slash API. Okay, that is a post request. Babu. Slash API and 8080 inside it slash API and users. So I'm getting the message as user created. But right now I'm not giving any body, any data for in this. Let's try to give in the JSON format like they have given over here. Print. See, now I'm getting this. So now I will get the correct response, which is the message is user created. And since we have used the function, which is express.json, so that is why it is taking the JSON request also. And inside the body, I'm giving the JSON format, which is a name and the email. And inside the name, I'm seeing the Jane Doe and the email, which is jane@example.com. The same I can see over here also. Initially, I have not given any body, any input. That is why I got undefined. Next, that was the incorrect way of writing. I have just written the user also. And now this particular response that I'm getting is the correct output, which is the name and the email, which I'm trying to take from this request body. Let's see if it will take other parameters also. Contact, send. There is a bad request, and why is that so? We are only trying to get the message and the user request dot body, but syntax error. It is not taking the alpha like value right now. It is only taking name and email as the input. The static request dot body. It is not taking password right. Yes, now it is taking. The comma was not present over there. So now it is taking the password also. So whatever right now we have not mentioned what we want to give as in general. Whenever you will try to access to any request, you will specify what things you are trying to take from the user from the front end, and then that will be consoled over here. But right now I'm just testing it. That is why I can access name, email, and password over here. Yes, yes. Try to run this at your end, and you can provide the similar or some other input. Are you all able to understand the middleware? Let me know if you are able to understand or anything you want to ask. Is it clear? Just let me know. Gaurav, Rocky, am I audible? See, it will be better if you just let me know if you are having any problem or you are able to understand. Okay, I'm just moving forward then. Next is error handling in Express. So we have seen that one of the application of Express was error handling. That is also done using middlewares only. You will see that error handling in Express is done through special middleware functions that have four arguments. Now, as you can see, these are the special middlewares that will having the four arguments that are error, request, response, and next. By this next, we are able to understand that this is the middleware. And when we will see the ERR kind of a variable error or the ERR, that will just let us know that it is a error handling middleware. So what are the key points? Error handling middleware must have four arguments. It should be defined after other app.use and route calls. You can have multiple error handling middleware functions and use next ERR to pass the errors to the next error handler. Let's understand this code over here first. So requiring the libraries and creating the instance. Inside this slash error, we have this to request and response parameter, and this is throwing the errors, which is by throw new error, something went wrong. So this is a constructor they have used. And by using this new, we can understand this is the constructor, and error constructor has been called that will just console that something went wrong inside this slash error. So here they are just trying to create the error inside this slash error route. Next route that uses next error. Now they are creating the get request inside async error. Again, they are trying to create the error over here that might come into your website, but just to get the give you the demo, they are creating the error. How will that come? In the request, response, and the next, they are trying to set this timeout. Inside try catch block, they are trying to get the result, which is non-existent function. What that will print, it will just throw the error because they are trying to create the error for us so that we can understand how that will be uh, occurring in the real world website when we will create our projects, and that will definitely fail, and it will just console me the error over here. If in case any error occurs while executing this middleware only, executing this route, then it will just pass the error to Express, and that will be console, which is next error. So this is the important statement that you will see in the error handling middlewares. And this is the denotion. Apart from this ERR, like you can see that right now they have not given any ARR variable, but this particular statement, which is next and the error. So over here, middleware has next function. In this previous example also, they, okay, that is not present over there. Whenever you have create middlewares, you have this next function that just tells that once you have executed this middleware, move to the next part of the code. Again, if any error has been occurred, or it if it occur, what will happen? It will just console the error, and it will move to the next part. Why it is being done? See, as we have seen that in the asynchronous programming, all the functionality should work fine apart from if any error occurs or any functionality is taking a lot of time. For example, accessing the database or reading the files. Similarly, over here also in the asynchronous programming, if any error occurs, what it will do, it will just pass the execution of the code to the next part of your code, and it will just handle the error. If you have provided anything, any kind of code to handle your error, that will be done using this particular line of the code, and next it will just pass the execution to the next line of your code. That is how middleware helps us, and it prevents any prevents your website to break down or stop working, and that will just enhance the user experience. And that is why we are understanding the error handling middleware, and it is very important. Now you can see, since we have created the error route, if in case any error occurs, next, what since I have given this next error statement over here, that will just pass the execution to our next code. Now we will provide the error handling middleware. After this next error, which is app.use error request response next as the arguments, and now error will be console and the status will be 500 something bro. So that is what they have told also, that it should be defined after other app not use and route calls. So whatever code that you are seeing over here, that should be the part of every route that you will create. Because if in case any error occurs in your any of the route, that will be handled using next ERR statement only. And once it will be executed, it will just pass the execution to the next uh, line, and in the next line your middleware error handling middleware will be waiting if in case any error occurs, and error will be handled nicely. As you can, we have seen over here also, they have also the error handling kind of thing at their end. If in case any error occurs, so they will just render this particular page for the 404 page not found. This is also, they must be having the middleware only for handling this kind of functionality. If in case, um, not really the everything must be the middleware, but it is the example that you can understand at your end, that how middlewares help. So that was the middleware. Let's try to see what that will print. Let's see over here. Yes, that's correct. Pasting it over here. Saving it. Now let's go to error first. Error route that will just tell me that something broke. Let's go to async error. That will be handling the error rightly. Let's see what that will print. Async error. That is telling me something broke again. Think saving it. Let's see what that will print now. Yes. As you can see, in the async error route, I have not mentioned anything that needs to be done if in case any error occurs. So in the async error, whatever functionalities this or whatever page that will be rendered by the async error will be come inside this try catch block. But if in case any error occurs, so that will just call the middleware by next error. This is the calling message for the error handling middleware. And then that error will be handled by this particular status something broke by async error route. So I have not mentioned any functionality to handle the error inside this route, but since I have used the middleware and it is passing the execution to the next line, which in where in the next line my error handling middleware is waiting for the error, and then I have got the response, which is something wrong by the async error route. For the status, we can try to access to the see over here inside my async error, which is the get request. What needs to be passed? Sending the request. I am getting 500 internal server error as we have specified the code also 500, and over here I will get in my yes response section something broke by async error route. Try this at your end and just see how the error are being handled. So this kind of code that you are seeing over here, you will have to add to your every route like this, but whatever functionality that route will be doing will be inside this try block. And then in the catch block, you will have to add this next error. And after that, it is not the only thing that you will call the error handling middleware. After that, the error handling middleware should be there, which is app.use, and that will just handle the errors for you for your routes. I hope it is clear to you all, to everybody. Just share your screenshots over here. Others also share your screenshot. Okay, so can anybody tell me what we have covered till now? Just recall me. Unmute yourself and tell me. Okay, Satyam, can you tell me what we have covered till now?
Yes, ma'am. Till now, like we have started from the Express, where we learned firstly about how to do the routing using app.get or something, and then we move on to the route parameters and query parameters, and then moving to the error handling, and and that's all for today.
Middlewares, yes. Archana, just tell me what are middlewares? Archana, are you here?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So tell me what are middlewares?
So middlewares are like preserve interface between the request sent by the user and the response given by the server.
Yes. Okay, so about anything I just that I want to add is that they are the helper functions that that are interface between the request and response. Also, they will just provide some few functionalities over our browser, like authentication system, that I given you the example, and also there are multiple special kind of errors, middlewares, which is error handling middleware that will help us to handle the errors for our website. Any function that run before the reaching to actual route handler is the middleware. That's correct. Okay, so I hope you all have understand what we have done till now. So that is all for today. We can wrap up this call now. I hope you have understood and enjoyed everything that we have discussed here. Thank you for being till the end. And now you all are allowed to leave the session. Bye. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Yes, Rahul, hopefully you will get by this weekend. Others, if you don't have any doubts, please leave the session.